Hey guys and gals, Bob Sellers here, your host and resident singing fisherman. I am back today with another shooting video. Boy, I've got a classic with me today. You notice anything different about it? That's right, it's left-handed. This is my dad's go-to deer rifle. And he has asked me to, he shot it the other day. Now, he was off arrest, but I don't think he was on anything that might have been as secure and steady as this right here. And he said it looked to be averaging about 3 inches high at 100. He likes his to be about 2 inches high. So I'm going to shoot this off of this Rock Steady Caldwell lead sled DFT2 down there at 100 yards and see what happens. This is Remington core-lokt 150 grain ammunition. So where to start? It's hunting season is coming up and you want to shoot your gun, sight it in, and make sure that everything is on and is shooting where you want it to shoot. In this case, we've got my dad's old 270 Winchester Remington model 700 BDL left-handed variety out here. And he wants to be dead zero center-wise, left and right, or windage-wise, and about 2 inches high at 100. We're gonna do our best. Let me show you how you start. First off, you gotta be steady. You need a good bench or a table, steady seat, and you need a good bench rest. Sandbags, whatever method you use is fine as long as it's rock steady. Y'all see that bush right there? You've ever heard of ragweed allergies? That's ragweed. And as you can see, it is in full bloom. That is my kryptonite, y'all. Public enemy number one. That's the reason I'm coughing and hacking and sneezing out here and couldn't hardly sing this past weekend. Hopefully I can this coming up. But anyway, back to story here. You gotta have a solid rest. Hey, you gotta have good equipment. I know this is a fine firearm. I know it's equipped with a fine quality scope. It's tight, everything. This rig has been together for years. I don't have any doubt in my mind that everything isn't solid about the tool that I'm gonna be using here to send this bullet down range. You wanna be confident in that as well. You wanna have good, dry, clean ammunition. This is Remington core-lokt 150 grain spire point ammunition. Probably some of the cheapest deer hunting ammo that you can buy, but you don't have to have expensive ammunition to kill a deer. I can promise you there have been hundreds and thousands and probably millions of deer hit the ground from a Remington core-lokt bullet. So what you're shooting isn't near as important as how good it shoots in your particular rifle. And that's why you spend some quality time on the bench and at a range to know exactly what your rifle is going to do. You can't go out there hunting, you won't have any confidence if you don't know that you know that you know that your rifle is dead on, and as long as you do your job, it's going to do his. And this is how we do it. Get you a good rest, get you a good target. I've got one out there 100 yards. If you were just sighting in a brand new rifle, you wouldn't want to start at 100 yards. You'd want to start at about 25 yards and then take it out to 50 and then 100. But this rifle is supposed to be zeroed in. I think he may have changed ammunition. He was shooting 130 grain Federal premium ammo with a Nosler ballistic tip for years and years, but he's changed now to this core-lokt 150 grain. Packs a bigger punch, and at shorter distances, it's not going to matter. And this quality ammunition, and so because he's changed ammo, that has probably changed the point of impact. You can be zero to the zero and shooting a half-inch group with a rifle, but if you change ammunition, it's going to change, I promise you. It doesn't matter if it's the same weight bullet or anything else. It's going to change your point of impact whenever you change ammunition. You definitely want to shoot your gun, and that's what we're doing today. So we're going to fire this thing off, good steady squeeze, never jerk the trigger, and see what happens down there at 100 yards. And then if necessary, make some adjustments, and then put her in the case and just wait on opening day. Let's fire a shot or two off and see what we get out of this old classic Remington model 700 BDL left-handed edition. Boy, it's a beautiful gun, got a beautiful walnut stock on it, cheek piece there, and tell you what, this thing has laid some meat down through the years. We bought this one year for my dad for Christmas. And we got a Leupold Barry X3. This is I think it's a 3 to 9 by 50 on there. So that's a great classic scope as well. Let's see how she does. Get our ears on. And the chamber goes round 1. Got my chronograph out there as well so we can see what type of velocity we're getting out of this old girl. I'm going to aim at the lower right target down there on my board. Safety off. Not exactly sure where that hit. Let's just send another one and then we'll go check it out. All right, I think I see them. Let's go look. It was 2,692 feet per second, by the way. I forgot to look at that first one. So yeah, those 2 shots right there were right about 1/2 MOA. Can't beat the group, but they're 1 inch, almost 2 inches to the right on average, and 1-2 inches high. So that's where he likes it. I wouldn't mess with that. I'm gonna bump it to the left. Let's see, that'd be 4. I'm gonna bump it to the left 7 clicks and shoot 1 more time. So of course your windage is on the side of the scope here. All right, this one doesn't have a click system. These older scopes, they've just got markings on the dial and you can reset that. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a really fine line right there. You just put that on 0 and then you move it. So I'm gonna move it. We're wanting to move the bullet left. So we're gonna turn this clockwise. It's got an L over there. So we're gonna go left 2 MOAs, or what would normally be 8 clicks. A little less than 2 MOA. You can see there I went from 0, 1, 2 to that almost to the 10 mark. Well, a little bit over 1.5. About 1 3/4 MOA was the adjustment I made. All right, let's send a shot down. See if that gets us on center. Think we got it, folks. That's a good shooting old gun. The trigger pull on it's real heavy. A lot heavier than any of mine than what I'm used to. I guess that's just the way it is. I wouldn't think anything's wrong with it, as good as it shoots, but just really have to squeeze on that trigger before you get a fire. All right, let's go check this out. Oh my. Goal accomplished, folks. Goal accomplished. The old BDL 270 win. That's our final shot. 2 inches high. I guess technically it's off of 0, but I made an adjustment. I want you to notice how consistent the windage is here. I mean, we're not 1/10 of an inch between that one and those 2. It's just almost on a straight line. Had I not made that adjustment, think about this. That shot would have been right there. Right there. We would have had a 3-shot group out of a 30-year-old rifle shooting old cheap Remington core-lokt ammunition of probably .4 MOA. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. 1.8 inches high at 100. So rifle season is coming where you are. It's been, what, 7 or 8 months since you picked up your rifle. People that don't shoot all the time and that sort of thing, or make videos, that's kind of a reality of it. Most people don't pick up their deer rifle between about January and February till over in November. I highly recommend, even if that is you and you don't do any shooting in the middle of the year, always shoot your gun. Always shoot your gun before hunting season. You don't want to miss it. And misses are going to happen. Y'all, it doesn't matter how many deer you've shot or shot at in your life, or how old you are, or how experienced you are, or anything else. All that helps, no doubt about that. But still, in the heat of the moment, and different factors being the elements, what type of rest you can get, have you bumped your scope and didn't know it, picked up the wrong ammo, you name it. The deer moves right before you squeeze. Misses are a part of shooting, and they're a part of hunting. You never want to miss or have a bad shot on a game animal if you can avoid it. You want to make a clean and ethical shot on that deer. So I recommend always shooting your rifle before hunting season. And when you do shoot at a deer or whatever you're shooting at, make sure you've got a steady rest. Yeah, I've killed deer free-handed. Sometimes in the moment, those opportunities arise, and you can't get a good rest. That's why shooting and knowing your gun and that sort of thing helps even more. But ideally, I like to have a good rest. Even if I'm out and see a deer that I want to shoot, if I'm close enough, I'm going to find a tree, at least, that I can grab and rest my gun on my wrist against that tree. Get as steady as possible so you can make as clean and ethical a shot as possible. Now that you have your gun sighted in, you want to protect it. You want to keep it in your safe, in a case, in the corner, whatever the situation for you in particular is. You want to make sure that thing doesn't get bumped or anything like that. And if it does, if you feel like you might have bumped your scope or it fell over or something like that, by all means, go out, shoot it again, make sure that everything is still on 0. Hey, I hope this has helped you just a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. I put a lot of work and effort and expense into making these. And least you can do is hit me a thumbs up to like the video, but I sure wish you would subscribe. That would help me out a whole lot. Just remember, wherever you are, God loves you, and so do I. And until next time, I will catch you later. May the good Lord bless you. Bye-bye. Y'all won't believe that after all that shooting, I came up here to turn around in our food plot up here. We call this the beaver pond. Well, I'll show you why. Because that is a beaver pond. But right here is a beautiful green field. Man, this one has done great, especially considering how little rain we have had this year. We got 1/10 of an inch Sunday. We had about 1/2 an inch, maybe 6/10 a week or so earlier, and that was the first rain we had in over a month. So these fields came up without having any rain on them. That's just what God can do. The ground was moist when we planted, and I guess it was moist enough that those seeds germinated, and they came up. And then I guess there was enough dew at night. Watered them a little bit, enough to make them, boy, I wish they all looked as good as this one right here. But hey, this one looks great. But all of that shooting, can y'all believe? I come up here to my beaver pond corn feeder, and I see bouncing across the field a big old raccoon. And I treat him right down there, and we got him. So there's one that won't be eating any of my expensive corn again, or eating any of our turkey eggs. Cool little dudes, but man, they are a nuisance to deer hunters and to turkey hunters. Glad to get that one out of the population. Ha! Never know what's going to go on out here in God's great outdoors. That's why I love being outside a lot better than being inside. Dispatched him with my everyday carry weapon here. This is my Springfield XDS 3.3 inch barrel 9mm. Got a clip draw right there instead of a holster. Just goes right down inside my pants. This gun will not fire unless that back strap safety is pressed and that trigger is pulled. It has a trigger safety on it. See, if you don't believe it, the gun is cocked. It's not one in it, but it would fire if it would. I'll show you in a minute. That trigger will not pull. That's why I went with this over a Glock, because I don't like a holster. And I can just pull this real quickly out of my pocket. It's just right there. I can get it in my truck, throw it on the seat, it's right there. And I don't have to, in theory, worry about it going off, which is a good thing, being that it's usually pointed at my right hind end cheek or leg or something. And happens a lot of times, but avoid it if at all possible. That's just a risk of carrying, but I would rather have that risk than not carry. Let me show you. Press that and squeeze that. There we go. Show you that again. You got the gun like that, that trigger, you just squeeze through. Let you hear it click. Yep. Without that pressed, again, squeeze, you can hit it, you can bump it. It's designed, anything can happen. That's why you always keep one pointed in a safe place if at all possible. Anything can happen, but that gun is designed to never go off unless these two things are done in conjunction. Right there. All right, Springfield XDS 3.39mm. I recommend it. It's a good little gun.